Welcome to the GPS PhotoLink 5.1 What's New video. In this video we'll go over what has changed since 5.0 and give a little demo on some of the new features in 5.1. First, I'm going to show some new changes in the Project Manager. The Project Manager screen manages all your projects, ones that you've created in the past. What we've added is an Add as Template column. This allows you to use any project as a template so that when you create a new project, you can base that project on an already previously created project. This allows you to break up your task into different functions so that you can have one project based on a certain set of defaults or create another project based on a different set of defaults. So I've checked this Denver as a template and this Pitkin as a template. And what that means is when I click on New to create a new project, I now have a list of all my templates that I have checked. And I can select any of these templates, and what it'll do is when it creates the project, it will copy the settings from that project template to your new project. Another change we made is to allow you to specify where to store the project on your hard disk. Previously it was only able to store it in one location, but now you can store it in any location on your disk as you want, so that you can organize your projects based on other work you are doing. If you click on the drop-down list, this will show you all the directories that you have your projects in, so you can easily move a project to that directory. We've also added a new way to view your projects based on directory. So if you click this View Group Folders, then it changes your project view and sorts them by directory. So you'll see a group of projects and they're all in the same directory. Another group of projects and they're all in that directory. This allows you to organize your projects much easier so you can find them in the future. You can also share templates or projects with other people. We've added a toolbox at the end here. So if I wanted to share this template with somebody, I can click on the toolbox, click on Template Zip File, and I can attach it to an email. What that will do is zip up the project settings plus 2 sample photos, the first 2 photos in the project, into a zip file and mail it to that person. Then all they have to do is drag and drop that zip file onto this screen, and then they can use that same template. As you can see, there's also a project zip file. With this will zip up the whole project, including all the photos, into one zip file. That might be a really huge zip file, but at least you can then move it to a network drive or burn it to a CD if you want to share that with somebody. You can also move projects from one directory to another very easily. If I wanted to move this one to another directory, I just right click, which is new in 5.1, all the functions you can do on a project. I can select Move, and then I can move that project to a different directory and click OK, and that'll move this project to that other directory for me automatically. You can also delete and copy projects just as you did before. So now let's open up a project and we can show some more new features. One thing we've added to the import photos is that you can now drag and drop from Explorer. So if I have an Explorer window showing photos, I can now just easily grab that photo, drag it onto the screen, drop it, and now the photo becomes part of my project. We've also made significant enhancements to the attribute editor screen. So that if I select a photo and select attributes, changing these attributes go a lot faster if you've selected all your photos. You can select hundreds of photos now and easily change the values based on those, and it'll go really fast. Now we'll go to some output settings. The significant change here is in the static maps. The Google Maps weren't working as well because Google had a limit on how many maps you could download. So now we've added these ArcGIS Online maps. These maps provide the same or better views as the Google Maps, but they have unlimited downloads. So if you use these maps, and that's what the default is now, then you won't have a problem with hundreds of photos in your project and not having maps associated with those photos. And then in the Pro version of software, you can actually add your own custom map server for the background maps. You click on Custom Maps, Manage Custom Maps, and you can add your own server here. So I can click on Add, and what you can do with this is you can use any map that's served on the internet based on ArcGIS server using the REST specification. So I can add a transportation map that is, I think is like the old Tiger maps, and this shows you what the format for the web service would be. The host, ArcGIS REST services, service map server. We also have a link to some examples on our website, but I can put in this link here, say it's going to nationalmap.gov map server. Then I can give it I can test it out by putting in a latitude and longitude, specifying a zoom level, and clicking Retrieve Map. And what that'll do is go out to the internet and get a map based on that position. So if I go low resolution, see more of the transportation. So this allows you, if you have an ArcGIS server with lots of data layers on it, you can now use those as background maps in GPS PhotoLink. Now if you don't have ArcGIS server, but you do have ArcMap, you can use an ArcMap MXD document as a background map. Just set up an ArcMap document like you want, and then browse to it here, and then it'll use that MXD file or ArcMap document for the background map in GPS PhotoLink. To web service, click OK, and now it's added it as a web service. We've also added a map caching capability. So this way, if it goes out to the internet to download these maps, and then you reprocess the maps, it won't have to go out to the internet again. This will significantly speed up processing of the maps and reduce the amount of internet traffic that you have to generate. If you don't want to use map caching, you can set the value to 0. You can also clear the cache. By default, it has 2,000 maps that it caches. Now let's get to some other output options we have. In the select output settings for all the report files, we've now added options to format the output a little more. We've added a report footer where you can turn on or off the title, page numbers, and the date and time, and what to include in the map and what to include in the report, including being able to start the attribute table on the next page. These settings are the same for Word and for PDF. We've also added the ability to use a floating license. So if I go to my serial number activation manager, it says that I have a floating license. What a floating license does is basically the same thing as a manual deactivate and reactivate, except it does it automatically whenever the program is started or stopped. This effectively allows you to share GPS PhotoLink licenses with many more people. If you had 5 floating licenses and 20 people using it, as long as 5 weren't using it at the same time, then it can easily automatically check in and check out the licenses for all those people. Then with a floating license, if you still needed it to be checked out for a long time without the internet, like if you're using it on a laptop, you can click the Keep Checked Out button, select the number of days you wanted it checked out for, click OK, and now the software won't check it back in for 10 more days. That's it for the What's New video. For more details on these options, please see the individual videos on that section.